I think it's truly a great time, a moment in history for all of us assembled in this room and all Indians, where we have the opportunity to take this country to much greater heights if we all collectively determine what the vision and mission of the industry is going to be. The consumer industry in India, FMCGs and other such products have been a victim of indiscriminate low quality imports, because of which India has suffered, Indians have suffered. I think over the last 25, 30 years, while on the one hand we tried to liberalize the economy, I suspect after a big bang in 1991, we kind of faltered along the way. And by 94 or so, we saw the reform movement stagnating, then saw a long period of 20 years of coalition governments which did not really bring stability into the system, during which period Indian manufacturing got weaker. Of course, a number of foreign companies or foreign suppliers did come into the country, some of them manufactured in India, most of them imported into India. And during that period, when we should have strengthened our domestic ecosystem, strengthened Indian industry, strengthened investments in domestic manufacturing, focused on quality, focused on scale, I think we lost out by allowing a lot of indiscriminate, low quality, low cost goods coming into the country. I was sharing probably a couple of days back the details where our own imports from one geography led to an increase of the trade deficit with that country from barely $1 billion odd, $1.2 billion to about $48 billion in a 10-year span between 4 and 14. And that broke the back of Indian manufacturing. It actually created a set of business persons who literally became dependent on imports, who met the consumer demand, but met them through pricing which was often just meant to undercut all domestic manufacturing, sometimes predatory, and in the process, we weakened the drive that India should have had for promoting Indian domestic high-quality manufacturing. Our government has, over the last few years, focused its energies on bringing back the building blocks to get manufacturing into India again. And it's going to be a long haul. We've been able to stem the fall in manufacturing. We now have to, all of us collectively, work towards taking Indian manufacturing to greater heights. And that will be a collective effort. The consumers will equally be responsible to make this a success. As long as we do not recognize the importance of quality in our country, we will not be able to stop this influx of low quality products. Towards that end, we in government are working to introduce quality standards in a much bigger way. We have now almost 4 times the number of quality control orders implemented in the last few years than what we had 10 years ago. And in the next 2 or 3 years, we hope to significantly ramp up many, many more products on which we'll have reasonably strict but practical quality standards which will be made compulsory so that Indian manufacturing is able to stand and against this kind of irrational competition, increase the scale of production, become more competitive, and coupled with our significant investments, as you saw in the budget also in the last 3 or 4 years, on infrastructure and the smarter planning of infrastructure, we do believe we'll be able to get back the sheen into domestic manufacturing and make our Indian manufacturing much, much more competitive.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.